At the beginning of the story, we see two girls. One is named Luji, and the other girl, who is the female lead of this drama, is named Mang. Both are arguing with each other. Mang has resigned from her job. Luji asks her, "What was the need to resign? Guai, who is our boss, is now with Luji, so you should not be jealous." Mang says her, "How innocent you are. You only think about boys. You stole my project from me, and now you are hiding behind Guai. You two do whatever you want to do." Hearing this, Luji slaps Mang. After this, we see another girl who was Mang's best friend. Her name is Fang. She is with her son when she receives a call from another friend, Kdrama. He talks to Fang about Mang's return. Fang says, "I spoke to Mang just a few days ago. She has bought a new house in Jingbei City, so why would she come here?" Just then, she sees that Mang is standing right there. She quickly cuts the call, hugs her, and asks, "How did Kdrama know that you are coming here?" Mang says, "I don't know how long this boy will keep wandering behind me." Fang asks, "How many days will you stay here?" Mang says, "I have quit my job." She asks her for concealer. Fang sees the injury on her face and asks, "Who hit you? You aren't involved with a married man, are you? You can make a 13th boyfriend, but don't break anyone's relationship." Then Mang says, "I cannot do that. You know this happened for some other reason." Mang comes to her home where she lived with her aunt and grandma. Everyone is happy to see her. Aunt says, "I have chosen a boy for you. He is coming here today." Mang says, "It hasn't even been a day since I arrived and you sat down with your business?" Then grandma comes and says, "Meet him." The boy is a doctor whose name is Dr. Gao. Mang's first aunt says, "Your grandma says that there is no baby in our family. Your dad only had you and your aunt has no baby either. So gift a baby to your grandma." As soon as Mang goes to her room, Dr. Gao arrives. Everyone starts calling Mang, but she goes to change her dress. Meanwhile, a delivery boy comes who is leaving after making a delivery in the house. Just then, a bag falls from his hand, and when he looks up, Mang is asking for help. So the delivery boy helps her. On the other side, the family explains to Dr. Gao, "Mang has just arrived. She will come after changing her dress." But as soon as the second aunt goes into the room, she sees that the window is open, and Mang has run away from there. Then we see Mang wandering in the city all day. She gets a message from her aunt where she says, "Fang has a fracture in her leg, and I am with her." Mang is looking for her favorite crab rice shop, but cannot find it. Just then, she sees the delivery boy who was delivering crab rice. She scans his QR code, but it does not work. When the delivery boy was talking on the phone, Mang feels, "He is talking to me," but later understands. Mang says to him, "Tell me the address of the crab rice shop and can you drop me there?" Then both come to that shop together. The shop owner knew the delivery boy, whose name is Jin. He was quite handsome too. Some girls were even asking him for his social media account. After eating, Mang gets a call from Fang. Fang says, "I needed the address of the crab rice shop." Mang says, "I found it. A girl helped me. And yes, if my family contacts you, tell them you have a fracture in your leg." Fang says, "How many times will you tell the same lie?" Saying this, she cuts the call. Just then, she slips and falls, and her son helps her. When Mang comes home, she sees that all the ladies were waiting for her. As soon as she arrives, everyone scolds her. Mang says, "I am interested in younger boys." Mom asks, "What age group?" Mang says, "Even 1 year will work, or maybe 6 to 7 years younger." Grandma says, "You two together will make our living difficult." Everyone asks Mang, "Where were you for so long?" Mang says, "I was with Fing. She has a fracture in her leg." Grandma says, "She is fine." Then Mang receives Fing's hospital photo. Mang shows it to the family and then goes to the hospital. There, Jin is with his grandma. Grandma recognizes Mang and introduces her to Jin and his cousin Bai. Fang asks, "Have you ever seen a handsome boy like Jin?" Grandma says to Jin, "Find a new girlfriend." Mang and Fang laugh. Conversations happen, and it is revealed that Jin's girlfriend is Luji. Mang reveals, "Luji slapped me." In a flashback, it is shown that Luji hit Mang in the office and stole the project, due to which Mang resigned in anger. Coming out of the lift, Mang meets Jin and says, "Your girlfriend has another boyfriend in her life." Jin asks, "What does this mean?" Mang says, "I just told you." Mang goes to Fang to pay the bill and Fang asks, "What did you say to Jin?" Mang says, "I have already paid the bill." Fang says, "Jin came here and was upset." Mang asks, "Where is Jian?" Fang says, "He is with my mom." Mang says bye and leaves. Jin is seen eating candy and Mang smiles. Jin sends a voice message to Luji and demands, "Give me an explanation." The next morning, Mang goes to buy fruits. Jin is also there. The cashier asks Mang to do the calculation. Jin helps. Mang pays and goes to Fang. There, the doctor does a checkup on Jin's grandma and recognizes Mang. Fang asks Mang, what did you say to Jin? Mang feels guilt. Mang takes the address of Jin's workplace and goes to the pub. There, Jin is with a girl. Mang says, sorry I came between Luji and Jin. Luji calls. Jin cuts the call. Mang sees Ching Kairan and runs. She hides in the ladies' washroom. Ching Kairan comes behind her. Security stops him. Jin comes through the window and gives support to Mang. Mang hides in the toilet, giving him the jacket. Jin gives his jacket. Outside, the pub manager tells security, Chung Kairan is the owner. Security lets him go. Chung comes inside. Dr. Gao tells Mang, wear the jacket. Mang looks at the stage where Dr. Gao is singing and smiles. Dr. Gao eats candy outside the pub. Mang says to him, thank you. Bai reveals, Chung has left. Mang says thanks to both. Mang wants to pay. Dr. Gao refuses. Mang jokingly says, date me? Dr. Gao refuses and says, I don't date old women. Mang mentions Luji. Dr. Gao gives contacts of some girls. Mang tells him, handle them yourself, and leaves from there. Near the shop, Mang remembers Chung Kairan's fights and Fing's help in a flashback and smiles. The next day, she comes to the market with her aunt and grandma. She sees two men, goes home, calls Fing and asks, tell me about Chung Kairan. Flashback shows when Chung got a scar in a fight and held Mang responsible. Feng says, I am still angry. Mang goes to meet him. In the pub, Mang talks to Cheng, clears up about the scar and the fight. Holding a knife, Mang says, make a scar. Chung comes to hit in anger. Dr. Gao intervenes and gets a cut on his hand. Chung's sister comes. Both calm down. Mang helps Dr. Gao. He leaves from there. Mang walks behind him. Dr. Gao says to Mang, let's talk about the road and home. Mang climbs the wall to go to her home. Dr. Gao drinks beer on the rooftop and is with the dog, Ping. Mang looks at the old house and family photo, gets emotional. The power goes out. The next day, Mang returns home. Dr. Gao, aunt, and grandma are there. Mang places conditions, living after marriage breakfast and the children's surname. Dr. Gao agrees. Mang is surprised when Dr. Gao says, the old house will be yours. Mang cancels the marriage. Dr. Gao says, I have money and a car, I just want marriage with Mang. Mang calls Dr. Gao home for light repair. Dr. Gao repairs it. Mang notices his memory power and talent. Jin gives a QR payment. Mang's plan fails. Mang sees a book for memory. Flashback shows Jin's childhood and mother's rejection. Mang asks Jin, tell me about Luji. Jin tells, this is the breakup and past. Mang compares herself to Luji. Jin explains. Mang invites him for dinner. Luji calls, but Jin agrees to Mang. Grandma sees a letter in Mang's room stating, Mang is shifting with Feng, and gets angry. Jin places flowers in front of a grave and remembers the past. Mang calls from the balcony. Jin ignores her. Flashback shows his mother's rejection and Lingbai's call. Mang tells Feng, here is everything. Fang says, Jin is Luji's ex. Mang says with a smile, he is handsome, otherwise I would have had to marry Dr. Gao. Jin comes to the part-time store. Chung takes Mong out and says, stay away from Jin. Mang replies in anger. In the store, Feng and her husband have a heated argument. Divorce is mentioned. Mang clarifies in between. Returning home, Mang and Fang have dinner. Fang shares her sadness. Her son, Jian, lightens their mood. Mang offers, I will cook. Jian jokes, order it. At dinner, Fang says, even after the divorce, I will keep my son with me. The next morning, Mang is confused before taking Jin's number. She goes to the hospital with Fang, but runs away as soon as Chung Karen arrives and meets Jin's grandma outside. Grandma tells Jin's painful past, mother's hatred, dad's love, and life after his death. Grandma takes Mang to a coffee shop. Mang misunderstands seeing Jin with an old lady, but it was a modeling contract that gets cancelled due to the scar. Jin says angrily, you kidnapped my grandma. Mang explains, she came by herself. Grandma talks about them becoming a couple. Mang says softly, you lost your job because of me, I will help. Both take a ferry to the clinic. Mang treats Jin's scar. Jin shares, this is my past. Mang tells, my mother died, and this is the secret of the chain. An emotional connection forms. While leaving the clinic, Jin asks, can I have your number? Mang refuses at first, then asks, give me your number. Amidst jokes and smiles, the number is shared. Chung Kairan takes Feng to a cafe. The staff mistakes Mang and Feng for girlfriends. Chung says, call them madam. Feng is surprised. Chung says from his heart, both of them left me. In the cafe, he sees a board. From today, no one will bully Jian. Feng feels guilty and says, sorry, promising. Chung asks directly, tell the truth what is going on between Mang and Jin. Mang takes Jin to a showroom. She doesn't know how to drive. In cute awkwardness, Mang says, teach me driving. Jin turns to the side and stays silent. Mang finally drives. They roam the city, watch the sunset. Jin casually asks, what is there between you and Chung Kairan? Mang says softly, nothing, just a brother. On the other side, Chung confesses in front of Feng after drinking, I like Mang, but she kept running away. Fang explains, Mang considers you just a brother. Jian is introduced. Chung cannot control himself in drunkenness. Fang becomes strict. At night, Mang and Jin return from a late drive. Headlights off, they get close. Mang says in a teasing tone, you have car knowledge, why don't you drive? Jin stays silent. Chung arrives. Mang pretends they are kissing. Chung gets irritated and leaves. Jin is hurt. Mang says softly, for the one who took a beating for me, I can do anything for him. At night, both secretly stalk social media. Mang on the balcony, Jin on the rooftop. Both text and smile. Then the scene shifts. Jin suggests, let's install a camera at Mang's house. Mang jokingly says, you can kiss me. Grandma and aunt arrive. Mang says in defense, this is a security check. Grandma says with a laugh, give the number. Mang sends both of them out. Jin remains silent. Mang clarifies, the marriage is fake. Both go to the market to buy a camera, eat noodles. Bai gives a festival invite. At night, Mang wears a traditional Chinese dress. Jin comes in a white outfit. Mang gives a compliment. Jin says softly, you are looking good. At the festival, Luji waits. Jin holds Mang's hand and says, today is my plan. Mang doubts. Jin says, you did it too. Mang grips tight and says, real couples hold hands like this. Bai says in a teasing tone, you have a good duty. Both write names on fish balloons, make wishes, and enjoy fireworks. The next day, Mang sees Jin fitting the camera. Luji comes and says angrily to Mang, you told Jin that I am your ex? Mang says confidently, yes, I don't like anyone bullying my people. Jin says casually, talk to your ex. Luji asks Jin to join the office. Mang calls Fang. Luji has come back. Luji gives an explanation in front of Jin. Mang misunderstood she likes Gao, but she doesn't understand. Jin says, there was never love between us, breakup happened. Everything ended. Luji asks directly, do you like Mang? Do you know about her family? Jin smiles slightly and says, it's good, no problem. Luji goes away disappointed. Fang is watching Luji and Jin's activities on the camera screen at her home and asks Mang in a teasing mood, do you like Jin? Mang quickly refuses, but Fang jokingly connects a video call and gives the phone to Mang's hand. Feeling awkward, Mang quickly says, I have no work, and gives the phone back to Fang. On the other side, Jin rotates the camera and shows that no one is at home. Mang says confusedly, why is Jin showing me? Just then, Jian asks Mang, help me with a maths problem, but Jin calmly solves the problem. Mang keeps staring at him, and Fang laughs seeing her reaction. The scene shifts to a wedding, where Mang and Luji give taunts to each other. A classmate teases them for being unmarried, but Mang responds in anger and leaves. On the other side, Jin is with his grandma, who advises him, start a relationship with Mang. Just then, Luji calls and says, here is an invite for an artist. Jin initially refuses, but seeing Dr. Gao in the background, he says yes, for Mang. Grandma is surprised, but Jin leaves the hospital calmly. The wedding ceremony begins, where Mang confidently tells Luji, Jin is my boyfriend. Dr. Gao comes to Mang and confesses, I like Mang, but Mang politely rejects him. In the reception party, Mang is drinking alone. Just then, Jin comes, puts a coat on her, and takes her for a beachside walk. Jin's mom calls on the phone, but Jin cuts the call without replying. Both take strong drinks at the bar, and emotional bonding happens. Mang goes on stage and sings an emotional song for Jin. Later, Jin takes drunk Mang to the room in the hallway and gently tells her, sleep on the bed. Just then, there is a knock on the door. Jin's therapist, Mr. Yang, comes, but Jin does not share his past. Jin has a hallucination. Mang brings him to his senses by calling out, and both share emotional talks about their pain and past. Jin warns, if I get attached, I never leave. Mang says softly, I am also like that. Jin teases, Mang gives a challenge, and Jin turns off the lights, says, good night, and leaves. Mang blushes and smiles. Outside, Luji is waiting and directly asks Jin about his feelings for Mang. Jin responds calmly, and Luji gives final advice. Don't let Mang come back into your pain. Then Mang shoots a video for Jian's project at Fang's house, and Fang teasingly asks Mang, did anything happen with Jin in the room? Mang answers casually, but another thought runs in her mind. Jin's birthday is coming, and Mang thinks, what gift should I give him? On the other side, Jin tells his grandma, I am going to meet Mom. Grandma wants to stop him, mentions trust issues, but Jin convinces her. Here, Mang and Fang enjoy the snowfall. Mang says softly, I wonder if Jin has an umbrella or not. Fang secretly records this moment and sends it to Jin. Jin watches the video, smiles, and messages Mang, which makes Mang blush. Mang makes cupcakes with Fang for Jin's birthday, and Jin goes to the hospital to meet his mom. Mom pretends that she is sick, Actually, she needs bone marrow. Jin understands immediately. On the other side, Mang is arranging everything but Ping informs her something happened, which breaks Meng's heart. During the operation, Jin is in intense pain, and Meng comes to the hospital but cannot meet him. Jin says in a cold tone, "There are many people there, and I won't meet Meng." After the operation, Jin's mom gives him a card, which he throws in the trash. Mang receives him upon his return by train. Jin gives her cheesecake, and there is a cake and goldfish gift for Meng. Lighting a candle, Meng makes Jin wish, and Jin makes a wish. Seeing a message about flight details, Jin asks Meng, "Why did you come to the hospital?" Meng says softly, "You were the one who refused." Both discuss their feelings openly, and Jin puts the goldfish in his aquarium, which brings colors to the house. Both enjoy cake and cheesecake. Fang asks Meng, "Why did you reject Jin?" Meng says, "I want Jin to truly love, not just for responsibility." On the other side, Jin meets Grandma and clarifies, "I gave bone marrow actually for Feng, not for Mom." Grandma understands and supports Jin. Mang is cleaning her garden. Jin comes to fix the pipeline. Mang asks him to help. Both joke around. Stuff arrives for Mang from a truck. Jin puts boxes inside the house and Mang takes out gifts. There is a camera in one box, which has photos of Mang and her boss. Jin gets jealous, Mang teases. In the market, Mang is buying flowers and seeds, asks Jin for a suggestion. Jin gives a playful answer. In the market, Mang sees her mom's black car and ring. She informs Jin and chases the car, but the car leaves due to traffic. Returning home, Mang is angry. Jin patiently plants flowers and helps Mang. Jin looks at pictures of Mang and her boss on social media and remembers the past, and Mang remembers her mom's death. Fang calls. The black car was seen outside the club. Mang immediately goes to the club. Seeing the man with the ring there, she flirts. Jin comes inside the club and takes Mang away from there. Men deploy goons. Jin fights. Both run away, and Shen and police arrive. Jin and Mang get injuries on their faces, but all smugglers get caught. Police confirm. The ring seller and their plan were different, and Mang agrees, "I will find the seller." Later, the three, Mang, Jin, and Chung Kairan, are sitting in a restaurant. Mang applies a bandage to Jin's injury. Chung Kairan feels jealous and confesses his feelings. "How passionate I am for Mang." Bad flashback recalls a school incident where Mang helped Fang wear a badge and saved a boy. Due to Fang's school complaint, she was transferred to another city. Chung Kairan is extremely shocked hearing all this. Mang tells him, "Is this why you were following me for so long?" Chung Kairan takes that badge and leaves silently. He comes outside Fang's house and looks from below that Fang's kitchen window is open and she is cooking inside. Chung is very hurt and cries, thinking, "How many problems Feng had to face because of me?" On the other side, Jin and Mang return home. Mang comes to Jin's house and applies medicine to his wound. Jin asks her, "Are you worried about Fang and Ran?" So Mang says, "No, I am missing my mom." Jin gives her a candy and says, "Your mom must have given you candy like this too." Crying, Mang tells, "When I was buying a new house for myself, Grandma said that her mom's ring was lost." Jin says, "We have a clue, and we will soon find that man." Mang tells, "My mom had opened a bank account for me in which she left a message with every deposit like, buy heels for her, buy a new dress for her." Remembering all this, Mang starts crying. Consoling her, Jin says, "Your mom loved you so much, so why did she commit suicide?" Mang says, "I also want to know this." Then she changes the topic to change the mood and says to Jin, "If you hadn't come today, I would have done something." Jin says slightly jokingly, "Yes, I am useless, right?" Mang says immediately, "Not at all, I was just very scared." Both start looking into each other's eyes. Then Jin tells her to go home. Mang wishes good night and leaves, and Jin is left watching her with a slight smile. The next morning, Jin and Mang come to an antique shop. Ran had told the address of this shop. Mang shows the photo of her mom's ring to the shop owner. The owner says, "I saw this ring a few years ago with a man which was made of very expensive material." The owner offered a lot of money to that man, but he did not sell the ring. Mang takes his contact number from the owner and says, "If you remember anything else, do tell me." After coming out of the shop, Mang says to Jin, "I will ask one of my friends to find out about this." Jin says to her, "I will also take help from my friend." Then Jin asks casually, "Which friend of yours? Are you talking about your boss?" Mang immediately says, "No, it was my partner Tai Ming, he's a very good friend of mine." Hearing this, Jin feels jealousy. Seeing the reason, Mang teases him and says, "Now even Ping will go out to find a girlfriend for himself, but you won't accept that you are jealous." Jin speaks a bit sharply. He has gone to find a job not for a girlfriend. Mang says jokingly, "Okay, then let's make a challenge." She sticks a small camera on Ping's belt. Seeing this, Jin says, "You can do anything to win." Mang laughs and says, "Yes." Then Mang places a condition. "If Ping turns out to have a girlfriend, you will have to accept that you are jealous." Jin also agrees to this, but he says, "Will you record Ping's love life? Blur his girlfriend's face." Mang says laughingly, You said he goes to find a job. Hearing this, Jin starts smiling. Now New Year's Day arrives. Mang is with her grandma and aunt. Grandma makes dumplings for her. Then she makes a video call to her dad. Dad promises her, "I will soon take leave from the office and come to meet you." Mang is very happy hearing this, and everyone wishes New Year together. Grandma then asks Mang, "Until when will you return home? What is the need to stay there?" Mang says playfully, "Oh, you used to say that no house should ever remain empty." Grandma gets a little confused and says, "When did I say that?" Mang twists the topic and says, "Why didn't you put almonds in the dumpling?" Aunt says, "There are no almonds in the house." Mang immediately says, "I will bring them." She comes in front of her old house and starts pasting a traditional poster for New Year on the door of Jin's house. Just then Jin arrives and is a bit surprised to see her. Mang says loudly while joking, "Now I can come inside your house anytime because I have seen where you keep the key." Jin smiles and asks, "How are you here?" Mang asks him to help paste the poster, and both start pasting the poster together. Meanwhile, Jin gets a call from his grandma. Grandma is celebrating New Year with hospital patients and tells Jin, "Don't come to the hospital today, spend time with Mang's family." Mang says happily, "Your grandma gave me a red card which she gives to her seniors on New Year." Jin also agrees, and Mang brings him to her house. The family members get excited seeing Jin and ask immediately, "Is this Mang's boyfriend?" Mang says shyly, "Don't scare him." Jin gives his introduction, but when Aunt asks, "What do you do?" Jin says straight, "I do a part-time job." Aunt gets annoyed. Mang explains to them, Jin's grandma is their old neighbor. At dinner time, Mang's grandma gives red cards to everyone, gives to Jin too, but there's no real happiness on Jin's face. Later, when Jin is going home, Mang says to him, "Maybe my family scared you today, let's light fireworks which I kept for your birthday." Jin says, "I have to go to the hospital." Mang wishes New Year, and Jin leaves. Mang stands alone watching fireworks. Jin says sorry, but Mang hears and ignores it. In the hospital, Jin reaches his grandma who is sleeping. Jin puts his head near her feet and cries. At that time, there is a flashback where Mang's aunties are saying about Jin, "He doesn't do a proper job, Dr. Gao is right for Mang." Jin hears everything, but Mang stops them. In the present, Jin is sad. Fang is celebrating New Year with her brother Jian when Ran arrives with gifts. Jian thinks, "Ran has come to take money." Fang laughs and says, "You have made such an impression." Ran has brought a toy gun for Jian and says, "Tell me whatever you want." Fang offers a drink to Ran. Ran feels a bit awkward and doesn't stay long. While returning, Jian gifts him a book. Ran is confused but accepts it. Fang comes to drop him far out when her husband arrives and says angrily, "Divorce is not finalized, and why are you bringing someone into the house?" Ran sees everything and feels bad. Mang calls Jin when Jin is feeding his fish. Jin tells her, because of one goldfish's illness, the other also got sick. Then explains, "You deserve a better person, we have no future." Mang is shocked, goes out and cries with fireworks, and records a voice message for Jin. "I took 99 steps towards you, you didn't take even one," but she doesn't send it. In the morning, Jin takes down the poster and throws it in the dustbin. Along with it, he also sees the flowers that he planted for Mang and are now in the dustbin. He remembers the moments spent with Mang. Mang is with Feng, who is shocked that Jin rejected Mang. Feng says, "You have many options." Just then, Ran pretends to be busy on the phone nearby. Feng teases, "Ran has come for you." But Mang says, "He hasn't come for me, he has come for you." Ran then comes to both with 2 coffees and casually speaks, "I gave Jin a job." Mang says angrily, "I don't want to talk about this." Feng and Mang leave for the nail salon and give the shop to Ran. Jian also comes and spends time with Ran. In the hospital, Dr. Gao checks Grandma and says, "She can go home now." Grandma asks Jin about his girlfriend. The nurse mistakenly says, "Mang." Grandma scolds Jin in anger. "How can you leave Mang?" Jin says it doesn't match with her family, but is clearly jealous of Gao's seriousness. Gao says, "I am going to meet Mang today." When Mang gets Gao's call, Feng teases her. Mang says he is only helping, not dating. Ran is with Jian. Jian asks him maths questions. Ran cannot solve them and secretly sends them to Jin. On the other side, Mang meets Gao at a restaurant with Feng. Gao has brought flowers and orders for both. Jin watches everything from afar. Ran also arrives and teases Jin. Mang likes handsome boys. Jin says angrily, "You don't know yourself who you love, don't explain to me." Both sit inside near Mang's table. Gao says to Mang, "I know you like young boys, that's why you don't want to marry." Mang says, "After New Year, my thinking has changed." Jin is watching her in anger, hearing all this. Gao then says, Mang should marry a person who has a stable job and financial support. Jin says to Ran, "Gao is talking about you, you answer." Ran says confidently, "Young men represent maturity. Old men cannot even see without glasses." Fang speaks immediately. Gao is right. Young boys cannot handle relationships. An argument starts between Jin and Gao. Mang tells everyone, stay quiet, and dinner completes in silence. After dinner, when everyone comes out, Chen arrives. He says to Fang, why are you among them? Come with me. Fang refuses straight away. Chen angrily calls out, you are all losers. Ran comes in between and pushes him aside. Jin throws eggs on Chen's car. Chen runs in anger, but everyone starts laughing. Ran then invites everyone. Come to my club. In the club, Mang meets her friend and goes to the washroom making an excuse. There she meets Jin. Mang tells him, I want to pay for the eggs. But Jin says, no need. Mang is surprised and leaves. After a while, Jin comes on stage to sing a song. He says, a person sang this song for me and expressed all her feelings. Mang is shocked because Jin says, I remember that night. Jin sings the same song for Mang. Fang says to Mang, he still loves you, just unable to express. Mang gets up immediately and leaves. The next day, Jin and Mang reach the same place for breakfast, but neither even looks at the other. Just then, Mang gets a voice message from Dr. Gao. Let's go for a walk on the track, but Mang replies, I don't like trekking. I want to watch the sunset. Jin hears all this too. Coming home, Jin sees that Bai has kept goldfish in the sun. When he asks, Bai tells, Mang gave me money so that the fish's disease doesn't spread. Bai also shows him Mang's post in which Mang is waiting for the sunset on the beach. Jin thinks that Mang has gone with Dr. Gao and immediately goes to the beach, but Mang is not there. Jin is watching the sunset when Mang arrives. Jin says, I thought she must have left. Mang says, can I come back? Jin kisses her, and Mang moves away, shocked. Then Mang drives the motor scooter and asks Jin, follow on the cycle. While both are moving together, Mang's motor scooter's battery dies. Jin helps her, and both push the motor scooter together. Coming home, Jin asks, let's go for dinner, let's talk and fix everything. But Mang refuses. Jin says, then take your goldfish. Mang says, okay, and notices that the camera is not on Ping's belt. Upon her asking, Jin says, it is lost. But Mang says, I don't trust you. Return the fish. Jin wants to talk, but Mang pushes him. Then Jin pins her hand to the wall and kisses her. Mang kisses in return and says, are you doing this out of jealousy from Gao? Jin says, when will you stop talking to me? Both tease each other, and Jin kisses her again. The next day, Jin works in the garden at Mang's house. Both blush at each other. Jin asks, why did Mang throw away the previous flowers? Mang says, they died. Jin thinks Mang threw them in anger. Later, Jin goes home to take a shower and Mang comes behind him. Jin says, don't watch me bathing. Mang reminds in flashback, last night you wanted to be intimate but Jin stopped. In the present, Jin says, Mang is very fast forward. Mang says, I am older than you in age. Then Mang sees the pond in which the diseased fish is not there. Jin says, I kept it separate so I can care for it. Mang says, I should have gifted a turtle. Just then, Jin gets a message from Luji. Mang says, you are still connected to her. Jin denies and shows his chats where he hasn't replied. Both go to the market and Mang gifts a turtle to Jin, saying, this is a symbol that you won't talk to Luji. Jin says, okay, and both plan a date. Just then, Fang calls. Mang, pick up Jian. Mang says, the date will happen but with a kid. Both take Jian to Amazon Park. Jian says, I am 8 years old and don't want to do all this. But both take him inside. On rides, Jian is alone and Jin Mang enjoy their date. Jian gets bored and says, I will play in the kids area and you both enjoy your date. In the kids area, Jian meets his classmate Cici, who is sad. Cici makes a mask which has a teardrop. He tells Cici, tell your mom the whole truth and wear the mask so that mom can understand. Cici says, if I wear a mask, everyone will stare. Jin says, we will all wear masks. Everyone makes masks. When Cici's mom comes, Jin tells her, share your problem with mom. Cici promises. Mang then says, Jin, go home alone. I will go to drop Jian. Just then, Ran arrives, whom Jin had called. Jian says, I will go with him, and Jin and Mang should enjoy their date. Jin is sitting alone on the rooftop when Mang arrives. Both hug in a blanket and enjoy the sunset. Jin asks Mang, tell me about your boyfriends. Mang says, 3, but then jokingly says more numbers. Jin does not trust her. Mang says, I was joking. Mang then asks Jin, tell me about Luji. So Jin says, I made Luji my girlfriend only because Grandma said so. Then Jin asks Mang, did you go to watch the sunset with Gao that day? Mang says, I went alone. Actually, it is shown that she went with Fang and planned it so that Jin would come. On the other side, Ran brings Jin home. There, Chen is fighting with Fang. Jin says, that is why mom sent me with them. Chen tells Fang, Mang is a bad girl. Fang tells him, You leave. Chen wants to raise his hand on her, but Feng says, that is why I want a divorce. Chen asks for one more chance, but Feng refuses. Ran comes in between, and a fight breaks out between the two. Jian comes and silences both and tells his dad, if you want to meet, call directly. Chen leaves. Feng says sorry to Jian, but Jian says, I have grown up watching all this. Later, Feng drinks with Ran and shares about her life. Ran listens and then Feng falls asleep. Ran remembers his past when Feng was leaving school. In the present, Jian comes and tells Ran, if you like mom, I have no problem, but I am not ready for a new dad. Ran refuses. There is nothing like that. Later, Ran talks to himself in the car. Feng is just a friend. On the other side, Mang goes with Jin to his house, but Jin tells her, go home. Mang kisses him and goes inside. Later, Jin brings Mang to the hospital to meet Grandma. Bai also comes there with a manager, and the manager says there is an audition. Seeing Jin and Mang, the manager says both should try modeling, and leaves after giving a card. The three go to Grandma. Grandma is happy seeing Jin and Mang together and says, now you two are officially dating, make a baby quickly. I will sell my land and give you money, and will give my family ring to Mang too. Jin and Mang get shy. Mang says, we haven't thought that far yet. Grandma says, your baby will be very beautiful, and starts taking photos. Bai thinks, the ring and documents. Grandma sends her home. Bring clothes. Going home, Bai takes the ring and documents along with the clothes. Then Jin comes and says, put everything back. Bai says, I need money, I want to do something big and go out of this city. Jin says, do your job. Bai says angrily, your girlfriend gives you everything, who do I have? I don't want to live here. You are fighting for Grandma's things, who is not even your blood relation. Saying this, she leaves. Mang watches her leaving and asks Jin, but Jin does not answer and starts solving his puzzle. Mang asks him, go out. Jin refuses and Mang goes to her house. Jin sees that the last piece of the puzzle is missing. He goes to Mang's house and says, you have the last piece. Mang says, kiss me. Jin kisses her. Mang asks, why are you behaving like this? Jin says sorry and asks, let's go for dinner. Over there, Ran comes to meet Feng. He is nervous and gives his clothes for alteration. Feng asks about last night. Ran gets nervous. Feng thinks, maybe I did something with Ran. Just then, Jian comes and says, yesterday Feng was drunk, Ran just carried her in, turned off the lights and left. Feng and Ran both become shocked and awkward, then give an awkward smile. Jian tells Ran, did you think about what I said last night? Ran leaves immediately. Feng is confused. Jian goes to Ran. Ran says, it's not like that, can we become friends? Jian says, okay, but don't tell Feng. Ran feels relaxed. Jin and Mang go to a restaurant where they met for the first time. Jin tells Mang, Grandma is actually not my real grandma. She is Feng's grandma, my stepdad's mom. I gave bone marrow to Feng. Jin says, when my dad died, my mom tortured me. That is why Grandma took me in. When Jin met Bai for the first time, she was clumsy. People used to bully her and lock her in the lockup. Jin beat them and got Bai out. Mang asks, was the ICU matter for Bai? Jin says yes. After dinner, both walk. Mang says, you're like a brother. From today, I am going to call you brother so that you can protect me. The next day, Jin is in the hospital with Grandma and makes her exercise. Grandma gets tired. Jin does not let her rest. Grandma says, other people support the family and you get angry at me. Just then, Mang comes and tells Jin, don't bother her. Mang plays music and makes her exercise. Grandma says, now I am feeling good. Jin watches both of them and leaves. Grandma says to Mang, you created drama, right? Both start laughing. Mang clicks funny photos and sends them to Jin. Jin has gone to buy groceries, but seeing the texts, he replies and forgets his trolley. Jin calls Mang to the store. Mang comes and shows him intimate things. Jin ignores her. Mang goes to Feng and says, Jin doesn't want to be intimate, maybe I am not beautiful. Feng says, you are beautiful, wear slightly revealing clothes. Mang buys dresses from an undergarments shop. There, Mang sees Bai's agent who is buying girls' clothes. Mang has a doubt. A cameraman is also with the agent. Mang calls Jin. Bai comes to a hotel room. The agent says, shoot in undergarments. Bai refuses. The agent says, you have to pay the loan, otherwise how will the money come? The cameraman also forces her. Bai goes to the bathroom and thinks, I will do something big, and today this is the situation. She wears the clothes and comes out. The cameraman starts taking photos. Then Jin and Mang come to the hotel. Jin starts beating the agent. Mang covers Bai with a jacket. Bai cries. Later, Bai is at Mang's house. Mang says, Jin took your money and handed them over to the police. Your photos are safe. Bai says, I just wanted to go out of the city. Mang shares her story. When I was in this city, I used to think the outside world is good. But when I joined the job, the pressure was so much that I forgot to enjoy life. When everything was fine, Luji took my project. I kicked and hit her in front of the whole office. Both start laughing. Jin is also listening. Mang says, after coming here, I met Jin and started life again. Bai says, you have lived that life. I never went out of the city. I want to become a singer, but what happened today makes me scared. Mang says, consider this a life lesson. Jin is at his home. He calls Timing and asks, help me get Bai admitted to a music school. Timing is ready to help. Guai is also there and hears it. Over there, Mang asks Jin, did you buy something? Jin asks back. Mang gives hints. Jin does not answer. Mang gets worried. Jin says, I saw the garments, I have no problem. I was afraid you would leave me, but now I am ready. Mang smiles. She gets her period. Jin cares for her. Mang says, my plan failed. Jin says, we have a lot of time. Both hug. The next day, Bai works at the bar. Ran asks her a question, but she does not answer. Just then, Mang, Grandma, and Jin arrive. Grandma tells Bai, if you want to become a singer, I will help, and gives her a card. Bai gets happy. Jin says, the music school I found for you in the city. Bai gets emotional and says sorry to everyone. She promises, now I won't take any shortcuts. She tells everyone, first I will be a singer in the bar instead of Jin. Everyone laughs. Ran says, I will fulfill your wish and your show will be tonight. Everyone says, come along. Fang is also there. Ran asks her, where is Jian? Fang says, he is at the bar. How could I bring him? Ran says playfully, I should open a restaurant. The show starts, and Bai comes on stage. Mang's aunt is also there. Bai says, I will sing a love song, but the song is out of tune. The audience gets disappointed. Fang tells Ran, cheer for her, and holds his hand. Ran keeps looking at her. Jin says, I thought I would send Bai to music school, but not anymore. The audience leaves. Only Mang's aunt enjoys it. Ran says sorry, people call him bad names. Grandma says angrily, return the card. Bai says sorry, but Mang's aunt calls her a rock star and takes a selfie. Ran gets confused. After everyone leaves, Ran looks at Bai. Bai runs away in fear. Ran thinks, I hope the bar doesn't close down. Jin says to Mang, I had fun today. I don't remember when I last saw Grandma so happy. Both are happy. Coming home, Jin smiles while checking social media. The next day, Mang throws flowers from behind the wall of Jin's house. Jin catches them. Mang says, take a photo, the weather is nice. Jin goes to her house and takes pics, but they don't turn out good. Mang shows a pic with the sunset and says, take a photo like this. Jin says, Dr. Gao took this, didn't he? Do you still have contact with him? Mang tells the truth. Dr. Gao asked for a chance, but I refused because I love Jin. Jin gets happy and both kiss. Everyone gathers in Mang's garden. Ran says, these talks should be done in the room, but Jin confirms with Mang, did you invite them? Mang says, yes. Then everyone sits in the garden and enjoys. Fang praises the garden, so Mang says, Jin designed all this. Jin and Ran cook in the kitchen. Ran wants to take food for Fang and Jin for Mang. Both have a slight argument. Finally, Jin brings food to Mang. When everyone sits together, Fang says to Jin, you love Mang a lot, but what have you thought about the future? What answer will you give to questions about a stable job and family? Jin just smiles, but is tense inside. Ran also advises him, you should sell the house and buy a new one. After everyone leaves, Mang explains to Jin, don't feel bad about friends' words. Jin kisses her, and to fix his mood, Mang demands, teach me guitar. Jin gently holds her hands and teaches her guitar. Mang takes a picture of both and posts it on social media. Timing shows that post to Guai and says, Mang has a boyfriend here, maybe she won't come back. Guai starts thinking and calls Mang. Jin sees this too. Mang says, I will block him. But Jin says calmly, if you want to talk, do it. But Mang blocks Guai and hugs Jin. The next day, Jin and Mang go to the hospital. Mang gives him the house keys so he can receive parcels. Jin feels a bit strange but says nothing. In the hospital, Mang gets a call. She says, I ordered flowers for Grandma, but the call is actually from Guai, who calls from another number. Mang refuses at first, then agrees, okay, one last meeting, upon his force. In the hospital, Grandma tells Jin, buy a new house. Jin says, this is not necessary. Mang hears this and leaves without meeting. Jin tells Grandma, Mang's future is in Jingbei. Forcing her would be wrong. Ran thinks about Fang in the bar and blushes. Bai asks, what is the reason? But he stays silent. When Ran plays his song, everyone covers their ears. Jin comes and turns off the music. Ran confesses, I like Fang. Jin tests him and says, talk to Fang directly. Ran comes to Fang's shop but is nervous. Just then, Jin sees Mang with Guai and gets jealous. Fang also sees Mang and says she is cheating on Jin. Jin makes an excuse of urgency and leaves from there. Fang sends a message to Mang. Mang searches, but Jin is not there. Guai tries to convince Mang, "You made a boyfriend, that's why you won't go back." Mang says angrily, "I don't want to work in your company," and leaves. Fang asks Ran, "What did you want to talk about?" Ran gets nervous and gives the reason of clothes measurement. Fang takes his measurement and Ran's heartbeat speeds up. He is just about to say something when a call comes from Jian's school saying he has diarrhea. Both go to the hospital. Here, Jin comes on stage in the bar to sing, but only Mang and Guai are in his mind. He cannot sing and gets off the stage. Bai asks the reason, but he stays silent. The manager comes and asks, "Find an accountant." Jin gets an idea. On the other side, Luji meets Guai in a hotel. Guai is dealing with an antique ring which belongs to Mang's mother. Luji asks, "Is this your ring?" So Guai says, "This is just an antique ring." Then he also asks, "Who is Mang's boyfriend?" Luji says, "You came for this." Guai denies and says, "I came for the redevelopment project." Luji understands that Guai has come only for Mang. Jin is studying in his house when Mang comes with a cake. Jin asks, "Where were you?" Mang says, "I met a friend whom I might never meet again." Jin is studying accounting. Mang says, "Are you looking for a stable job for me?" Jin stays silent. Just then, Guai calls and messages, "I found out about Mang's mom's ring." Mang leaves to meet him without telling Jin. Guai tells her, "There is a man named Wang Xing who has that ring," and says that for the meeting, Jin's presence is necessary. Mang returns home. It is raining. Jin is waiting outside. He asks, "Where were you late?" Mang says, "I met a friend." A fight happens between them. Mang says, "I am going with my boss, Guai." Jin explains, "I was," but Mang cries and says, "I tried a lot, but Jin takes everything lightly." Remembering her mother's suicide, she breaks down further and goes home. Jin is left standing alone in the rain. In the hospital, Fang is with Jian. The doctor says, "Only parents can stay inside." Chen immediately says, "I am Jian's father." Just then, Ran arrives with reports but stays silent seeing Chen. Fang says to Chen angrily, "Now you have come to be a good father when you didn't even pick up the teacher's call." Chen says, "If I don't work, how will income come?" Fang says, "Give me a divorce, responsibility will end." Chen refuses the divorce. Ran interferes and says, Fang should get a divorce. Chen interrupts Ran, and Fang also asks him, "Please leave." Ran is sad, but sees that Jian is happy with his parents. The next morning, Fang waits for Chen outside the court, but he does not come, and the divorce is cancelled. Fang drinks with Mang sadly. She asks Mang, "Should I continue the marriage just for Jian's future?" Mang says, "Thinking is good, but will you be able to adjust for a lifetime?" Fang goes silent. Over there, Jin and Ran talk. Ran says, "Jin message Mang." Jin says, "I am scared." Jin gives a challenge to Ran, "Why don't you message Fang?" Ran also refuses, "No, because his divorce is not final yet." Mang drinks and complains. Jin didn't send even one message, maybe he wants a breakup. Fang tells her, "You message him." Mang says, "I won't say sorry." Fang finally sends a message to Jin. Mang is drunk and she needs Jin. Ran is using the phone and sees the message. Jin immediately goes to Mang. Mang is sitting outside the house. Jin takes her inside. Mang hugs him and says, "You didn't send even a message all day, maybe you want a breakup." She says, "I am going to Jingbei tomorrow." Jin stays silent and there is silence between them. At home, Grandma explains to Jin, "If Mang leaving is a problem, then you go with her too. Plan your future with her." Jin understands the point. The next morning, Mang leaves with a suitcase and finds Ping's camera. On the way to the airport, she turns on the camera in which Jin confesses, "I have loved Mang since the day she said it drunk on the beach." Seeing this, Mang is shocked and returns home. Mang sees Jin decorating flowers in the garden. She says to him directly, "Will you marry me?" Jin is surprised, then kneels down and says, "I don't have a ring, but I propose with these flowers." Both get emotional and decide to get married. Both get married at the registrar's office. Mang tells Fang, so she says, "Yesterday you had to break up and today marriage?" Mang says, "Everything happened quickly, my flight is tomorrow." Mang gives the news of the marriage to her family. Aunt and Grandma are shocked at first, then happy. Jin is also relieved. Jin tells Mang's aunt and grandma, "I will take care of Mang, and when we have a baby, its name will be inspired by Mang's name." Ran takes Jian on a sports car ride. Jian says, "Mom and Dad are together only because of me, but I don't want a fake family." Ran explains, "Decisions should be taken by adults. Whenever your mood is off, tell me. We both will enjoy." Mang tells Jin, "I am going to Jingbei." Jin confirms. Mang softly says, "Sorry," and teases, "Do you still feel shy?" Jin says, "No," and both kiss each other. The next day, Mang leaves for Jingbei. On the way, remembering Jin's words, she starts laughing. In Jingbei, Tai Ming picks her up. Mang sends a message to Jin, "I have reached." Jin replies, but is jealous inside, then convinces himself, "Mang is now my wife." Tai Ming asks Mang, "Will you leave me too like others?" Mang says, "No, because I have legally married." Tai Ming gets shocked. Everyone in the office is happy seeing her. Guai meets Mang and gives information. Here's what I know about Wang Xing. Mang asks, give me details. Guai refuses at first, then says, the meeting is fixed for tomorrow and I will also be there. Tai Ming takes a photo with Mong and posts it, which Jin also sees. Ran tells Jin, you also take a photo with a girl to make Mong jealous. But Jin refuses. At this time, Luji comes and proposes a deal for Ran's hotel project. Ran says, you don't like Mang, then why a deal with me? Luji answers, Mang is a different matter, and business is different. Ran agrees and goes to get drinks. Then Luji starts talking to Jin, but Jin ignores her. Ran takes a selfie in which Luji and Jin also come in the frame and posts it. Mang gets jealous seeing the post. Guai says to her, is your boyfriend jealous? He should be mature. Mang answers in a bold way, he is not my boyfriend, he is my husband, and you will soon receive our wedding invitation. Guai becomes sad. Seeing Mang's comment on Ran's post, Jin also gets a bit tense. At home, Mang's grandma and Jin's grandma meet and taunt each other on dressing and makeup, then bicker about wedding planning. Confused, Jin leaves both of them and goes out. Mang video calls Jin and tells him about the meeting. Jin says jokingly, if you don't come back, grandma will use all your lipsticks. Mang laughs and says, let her do what she wants. Just then, Guai knocks on the door. Mang opens the door and forgets to cut the call. Jin hears everything. Guai says, you are acting just to make me jealous, right? But Mang says in a strict tone, I have married and I have no interest in Guai now. Guai confesses, I love you, and gives the key to a flat. Mang threatens, I will call security, and pushes him away. Jin gets hurt hearing all this. That night, Jin cannot sleep and the next day runs near the beach. He has breakfast with Ping, but keeps waiting for Mang's message which does not come. Upon returning home, Grandma keeps planning the wedding. Jin sits with a book. Grandma teases, you are missing Mang, right? Jin stays silent. Over there, Mang waits for Wang Xing, but he does not come. Tai Ming calls and gives the address. Mang goes to the hotel, but the receptionist says, Wang Xing checked out in the morning. Mang understands that Guai canceled the meeting. She calls him and says, if you don't want to help, then don't, but don't play cheap tricks. Guai says, the offer is still open, but Mang says angrily, I don't need your help. I will do my work myself. After the argument with Guai, Mang calls Jin upset by the river and says, you are my husband, right? It is your duty to fix my mood. Just then, Jin is behind her. Mang turns around and both hug happily. Going to the room, both kiss. Mang tells Jin what Guai said. Jin says, I heard everything on the call and now I will never leave you alone. At this moment, Guai calls. On speaker, he says sorry and says, I will fix the meeting with Wang Xing. But Mang says, now I don't need you, my husband is with me. Tai Ming explains to Guai, this is not a drama, but Guai does not believe it. Ran tells Jin, the man who had your mom's ring, Mr. Shi, came out of jail and is running a tea house. Jin and Mang go to meet Mr. Shi. At first, he gets scared, then says, because of Mang, my life changed. Mang asks, who is the ring's owner? Mr. Shi finally says, it was Wang Xing, check Hanai Hotel. Both go to the hotel and check separately. Mang sees Wang Xing in the hotel, chases him, and reaches the club. She sends the location to Tai Ming, but Jin's reply does not come. In the club, Wang Xing and Lingbi talk where Wang Xing blackmails her for the Hollandbai project. Outside, Tai Ming tells Mang, this club belongs to Guai, and Wang Xing being here is strange. Both check CCTV, but the footage is deleted. Seeing Jin leaving through the back door on the car camera, Mang is shocked. Tai Ming reminds Mang, in childhood Jin and Guai used to race, but Jin withdrew from the race and left the city after the backlash. Slowly, Mang also remembers Lingbi. On the other side, Jin talks to Lingbi and reveals, the day Mang's mom died, I was there. I saw a woman and a man fighting in a car and gave a statement to the police too, but Lingbi manipulated me and made me withdraw the statement. Now Jin reminds her, remember the truth. Lingbi denies, I didn't do it. But Jin shows her that footage in which Wang Xing mentions her crimes. Lingbi asks, will you give this to the police? Jin says, no, I will give this to the board of directors or media and destroy the company you built. Lingbi gets shocked. On the other side, Jin finds out Wang Xing went to the Hanai Group building and did not return from there. Lingbi lies and locks him with securities so that her image doesn't get ruined. In the present, Jin comes to Mang's room and asks, where is Wang Xing? Mang says, angrily, I called you many times. Jin says, my phone turned off. Mang says, today I went to a club and saw a photo of you and Guai there. You never told me you two are friends. Jin says, that was the past. Mang takes a deep breath and says, okay, so that's how it is. Jin says, today I went to meet someone at Yonai Hotel. Mang gives a short reply and says, I have booked a flight, we are going back tomorrow. Jin says, don't you want to find Wang Xing? Mang says, all this is a waste of time, I don't trust anyone anymore. Going into the bathroom, she cries and cannot believe Jin's words. The next morning, Jin and Mang return home. Mang is just about to go inside when both grandmas come and take them to feed them. At the dinner table, everyone discusses wedding events, but Mang is uninterested. Both grandmas start arguing again about who eats healthy food. Fang is busy at her shop when some goons come searching for Chen. They say, Chen has taken money from us. Fang denies and says, I have nothing to do with Chen, but the goons forcibly sit in her shop. Helplessly, Fang messages Chen. After a while, Chen comes and tells the goons, I will sell my wife's house and pay the money. Fang is shocked hearing this. When the goons leave, Chen asks Fang, give me the house documents. Fang says, this house is mine, not yours. Chen moves towards the house, but Fang pushes him out and locks the door, sending a message to Mang. At that time, Mang feels like vomiting. Both grandmas think maybe she's pregnant, but Mang says, it is just a stomach problem. Just then, she gets Feng's message, I need you. Mang leaves immediately. Jin also starts to go, but Mang forbids him. Along with this, Feng also calls Ron. Chen breaks Feng's door in anger, comes inside, and starts taking documents. Feng tries to stop him, and a tussle happens between them. Just then, Mang arrives. When Chen starts threatening, I will, Mang shouts, try touching me. I will call the police right now. Chen runs, but Ran comes and catches him. Feng hands over the documents to the police. While coming out of the police station, Ran says, you shouldn't have stopped me from punching him. Feng says, he deserved to go to jail, not you. Then Jin also comes and says to Mang, you should have told me once. Mang remains silent. Feng tells Jin and Ran, pick up Jian from school and keep him with you for a while. Jin and Ran go to school. The teacher mistakes Ran for a kidnapper, but Jian says, I know him. The teacher still takes a photo of their car. Both take Jian to a game parlor, then a cafe. Jian says, I am hungry. Jin says sadly, my wife is ignoring me. Ran texts Mang from Jin's phone to cheer him up, I miss you. Mang gives a dry reply and everyone gets sad. Here, Fang cries, seeing the condition of the house. Mang consoles her. Both say, we are unlucky in love. Fang says, I wanted to give Chen a second chance, but he will never change. Mang also thinks about Jin. Both hug and cry. Ran and Jin bring Jian. Fang takes him inside. Ran says to Mang, you two end your Cold War. Jin offers to give Mang a lift. Reaching home, Jin says, so much happened, are you still angry? Mang says, I am not angry, but I feel bad that Fang couldn't recognize her husband. A time comes when we realize that our partners are such strangers to us. Saying this, Mang goes home. The next morning, both grandmas are shopping for the wedding. Jin's grandma likes old-fashioned designs, which Mang's grandma doesn't like. The shop owner asks, call the bride. Jin is bringing breakfast for Mang. Mang gets ready and leaves. She refuses to take breakfast. At the shop, Mang calls the designs outdated and plans to order online and takes both grandmas away. Jin gets confused why Mang is behaving like this. Coming home, Mang says straight, we have to postpone the wedding. First, I have to solve my mother's case. Jin asks, do you have regrets? Mang stays silent and closes the door. Both are hurt. Outside Feng's shop, Chen has put up posters of Ran and Feng on which it is written, both have an affair. Mang and Feng take down the posters together. Mang says laughing, Chen is crazy. Feng explains, I was taking Ran's measurement. Both go to the club to teach Chen a lesson where Chen is holding a meeting. Feng throws paint on him and exposes him in front of everyone. The meeting people leave him. Mang and Feng pay the manager and have a relaxed drink. Feng says, I was with Chen for 10 years, but he turned out to be a bad person. Mang cries and says, I made the decision to marry in a hurry, and Jin betrayed me. Feng says, whatever happens, I am always with you. On the other side, Ran tells Jin, talk to Mang directly. Jin asks Ran for a few days off, tired a bit. At night, Mang comes home drunk. Jin is waiting. He asks, do you not want to marry me? Mang says, our relationship started with lies and secrets. You deleted Wang Xing's footage. I kept waiting for you to tell me the truth, but you never said it. Saying this, she goes inside. Jin tries to stop her, but she closes the door. The next morning, Mang gets Tai Ming's call. He tells her, I have taken details of your mother's case. There was also an eyewitness in it, but he withdrew the statement. Upon asking the name, Tai Ming says, that was my friend Jin. Mang gets shocked. Just then, she sees Jin leaving with a suitcase. Following him, Mang reaches the airport and sees that he is going inside Hanai Group. At that time, Guai comes and says to Mang, if you want answers, join my team. You have no other option. Mang doubts at first, but then agrees. The next day, Guai brings Mang to Hanai Group. There they see Jin and Lingbi are coming into the office together. Mang is shocked, but both behave as if they don't even know each other. Guai introduces, Mang will lead the Holland Bai project. Lingbi says to Jin, it will be nice working with you. After the meeting, Jin says to Mang, "You said you would never join Gukai's team." Mang speaks in anger. "And you joined Hanai Group and are asking me this question?" She leaves. Jin comes to Lingbai's office and says, "I will lead the Hollenbai project." Lingbai understands that Jin has come to take revenge. Jin says, "I will delete the footage, but I will get the project and there will be no talk about Wang Xing." Lingbai agrees with a smile and calls someone saying, "Now you don't have to worry about the Hollenbai project." Everyone meets at the dinner party. Tai Ming hugs Jin. Gukai makes fun of him. There is tension between Jin and Mang. Gukai deliberately gets close to Mang, which makes Jin jealous. Uncomfortable, Mang goes to the washroom. Gukai goes behind her and asks indirectly, "Who is your husband?" Mang says, "What is it to you? Stay away from me." Coming outside, Jin pulls her to a corner and says, "Stay away from Gukai." Mang says, in a cold voice, "You did what you had to do. Now if you don't let me go, I will scream." Jin is forced to let her go. After the party, Gukai offers to drop Mang, but Mang refuses. Gukai is about to tell her, "I have something to tell you about Wang Xing." Just then, Jin arrives and says, "Everyone has drunk, I have a driver, he will drop Mang." Mang says, "Jin is just a client, I want only a professional relationship," and leaves with Gukai. Jin angrily tells Tai Ming, "Go home by yourself." In the car, Gukai asks Mang, "First tell about your husband, otherwise I won't tell." Mang threatens, "If you don't tell, I will get off." Then Gukai tells, "Wang Xing bought your hometown's land with illegal funds, he went to jail too, and later Hanai Group took that land which became the Hollenbai project." Mang asks, "What was the time?" So Gukai tells, "This happened in August 2016, the same time when her mom died." Mang starts connecting everything. Someone is following Jin's car, but Jin stops in the parking lot. Mang comes to her room and recognizes Jin wearing a mask. Jin says, "I am your husband, I had to come." Mang asks him, "Sign the divorce papers," but Jin explains, "I joined Hanai Company only to solve your dad's case and Lin Bai is very dangerous." Mang gets upset. Jin leaves from there. Mang tells Fang, "Jin hid so much and divorce seems like the solution." Fang says, "It won't be easy." The next day, Luji comes to Gukai's office and blames Mang. "You are responsible for my return and transfer," resigns and leaves. Tai Ming meets her and says, "Jin is the general manager in the Hollenbai project." Luji is shocked. Mang and Fing discuss reviews of Ran's bar during shopping. Misunderstandings are cleared, and Feng says to Ran, "Sorry," both take temporary distance. Mang and Gukai discuss their team. Just then Jin announces, "Now I am the team leader and Luji is the assistant leader." Mang and Gukai are shocked. Jin's plan is understood that the team and projects will be secure. A flashback shows Jin made Luji the leader in place of Mang in a fake deal. In the present, Mang tells everything to Feng. Ran meets Jin in the office and knows the truth of the case. Tai Ming informs, Gukai is taking Mang to the track to confess. Jin is also included in the plan. Mang and Luji work late night, share a drink, discuss rivalry and past. Luji resigns, and Mang wishes her all the best. On the other side, Gukai calls Mang for a ride, but Jin brings the car and challenges, "Let's race." Mang goes in the car with Jin. During the race, Jin tells, "This is my past and my feelings." Mang accepts trust and emotions. At the finish line, Tai Ming readies confession decorations. Mang and Jin share a romantic moment. Gukai and Tai Ming remain confused and shocked. After the race and confession, Jin calls Mang, "Come to the office." Tai Ming interferes, but Mang controls everything. Jin is secretly watching her. Tai Ming becomes suspicious. Jin hugs Mang Gukai, and Tai Ming have to intervene. In the office, Mang and Jin share a romantic moment. Lin Yang makes an entry holding Jin's hand. She has come to the country for a big deal and her father. Mang leaves. From there, Jin gets Lingbai's call. Lingbai says, "Lin Yang has come for a big deal. Jin will take care of her." A site visit happens with the team where Lin Yang clings to Jin everywhere, and Mang keeps staring at her. Tai Ming jokes, "Is Mang getting jealous?" But she denies. At dinner, Lin Yang calls Jin solo, but Jin says, "The whole team will go together." At dinner, Mang asks straight, "Are Lin Yang and Jin very close?" Lin Yang says, "I confess to Jin." Irritated, Mang kicks Jin from under the table. Jin immediately texts Mang, "I rejected her." Later in the washroom, Lin Yang asks Mang, "Does Jin have a girlfriend?" Mang pretends, "We are not close." Lin Yang says, "I will pursue Jin." Mang says casually, "I do a lot for my husband." Hearing this, Lin Yang is shocked and adds Mang on social media. On the other side, Lin Yang tells Jin, "Our families want both to be together." But Jin says, "I have no interest in arranged marriage and starting a family." When Lin Yang asks, "Do you like someone else?" Jin says, "Yes." Hearing this, Lin Yang becomes sad. After this, Feng and Mang check Lin Yang's social media and discuss. Feng asks Mang, "How long will you keep your relationship secret?" Mang says, "Until the case is solved." Then Ran comes and Mang asks him, tell me about Gao, but he doesn't tell anything. Mang says playfully, it would be good if your divorce happens tomorrow. Ran also secretly prays. The next morning, Fang goes to court for the divorce. Jian supports her and says, I will support whatever you do. The divorce is finalized in court, and Fang also gets child support. Coming out, Fang tells Mang, now there should be a party because I am officially single. Ran also arranges a party in his bar to celebrate and puts up posters. Along with this, he decides, I will convert my bar into a restaurant. Jin finds this decision sudden, but Ran says casually, how to tell friends that I am making the bar a restaurant. At this time, Mang and Feng go to party, and there some boys offer, have a drink. Ran sends Mang's photo to Jin, and Mang also sends a photo to make Jin jealous. Jin and Ran set out to find them. Just when Mang and Feng are avoiding the clinging boys, Jin and Ran arrive. Jin scolds those boys, get lost, and they run away. Then everyone dances and enjoys together. Lin Yang sees all this and gets even more irritated. After the party, Ran drops Feng home. In the car, he asks Feng, what are your future plans? Feng says, I am not interested in a relationship right now and want to enjoy freedom. Ran gets a little close, but Feng immediately pushes him. Ran says, I was just unbuckling the seatbelt. Feng feels awkward and goes home quickly. The next day, Lin Yang meets Jin for a project meeting and says, Lingbi wants Jin to marry me. Just then, Mr. Ye arrives, who turns out to be Mang's dad. Jin is shocked, but Mr. Ye ignores him. Jin tells Lin Yang, stop dirty games. On the other side, Ran starts collecting information about Gao. Jin asks him for help, but Ran demands payment. Jin sends him some money, and Ran finally agrees. I will help. He suggests Jin should make a fake certificate. Jin refuses and says, I will take help from Mang. Then Jin cooks food for Mang and shares. My problem is, Mang gives him a fruit and says jokingly, you will have to kneel down on this and say sorry to my dad. Later, Jin goes fishing with Mr. Ye and tries to impress him. He accidentally jumps into the water and catches a fish, which Mr. Ye could not do. Mr. Ye is impressed. During dinner, Mr. Ye tells Jin, Mang is the most precious in our house, keep her happy always. Jin promises, I will always take care of Mang. The next day, Ran gives a clue. Check the orphanage, and the file reveals Mang's mom was also involved in the scam. Mang gets shocked and confronts Grandma. Grandma tells the whole truth is, and Mang leaves upset. Jin consoles her and says, I am always with you. Later, Lingbi comes to Grandma, but she throws her out. A decision for Grandma's risky surgery is made, where Jin insists that the surgery will happen. After the surgery, Grandma takes Jin and Mang to her tea garden and is happy seeing them together. She writes in her diary, my last wish is to see Jin and Mang's wedding. Wedding arrangements begin where Ran, Feng, Jian, and both families prepare everything together. Mang is surprised when Jin proposes and accepts. The wedding happens in both traditional and Western styles. Both families unite, speeches happen, and Mang's father also gives an emotional speech. Jin and Mang exchange rings and kiss. After the wedding, Ran confesses to Feng, I consider you and Jian the most important part of my life. Feng refuses at first, but Ran says, I will wait. Remembering the moments spent with them, Feng gets emotional. The next day, Jin and Mang get their grandma admitted to the hospital, but in the company, due to a wall collapse in the Hollandby project workers protest and blame Jin, fake material was used, due to which the police take him for investigation. Mang is worried, but Jin says, I will handle everything. Mang and Ran investigate together and find out Lin Yang and Lingbi are involved, and Shu gives a video proof in which workers are changing material. Mang explains to them, you should help the innocent. In the press conference, Lingbi blames Jin and questions his mental condition and takes all powers from him. Grandma gets shocked. Lingbi announces in front of the staff in the office, Jin needs a professional therapist, and the Holland Port project will be with Lin Yang. But then Mang comes, and declaring, I am the project manager, shows site visit photos as proof and says there was no fault of Jin. Lingbi says angrily, Mang is just a project manager. But Mang shows her marriage certificate and says, I am the wife of the next CEO of Hanai Group, that's why I have the right to speak with authority. Lin Yang asks in shock, is Jin married? Then, a laborer comes and says, Jin is a mental patient. But Gao shows photos evidence and laborers are caught changing material. Lingbi still tries to escape and says, Jin is not fine in mental condition. But Mr. Yang comes forward and says, Jin was never mentally ill, everything is fine. Mang shouts at Lingbi, how can you call your son crazy in front of the world? And Grandma comes there and tells, Lingbi tortured Jin, threw him out of the house at night, and manipulated mental health. Lingbi leaves the office, and Lin Yang stops her and says, there will be no deal with Hanai Group. Mang goes to the police station and frees Jin, both hug, and Mang says, crying, I miss Jin a lot. Jin sees Mang's bravery on social media and appreciates it. The next morning, Jin goes to school for drama practice. Ran comes to pick him up and some kids tease him in school. Your parents got divorced? Jin reacts in anger and Ran scolds them. In drama rehearsal, Yin has to get beaten, but Ran takes the role so that Yin stays safe. Fang is happy seeing this, and Yin says thanks to Ran and says, I want to learn boxing so that he can protect his mom. Ran promises. On the other side, Jin leaves the office and Gao comes to meet Mang says, sorry, and tells the past of Mang's mom and Lingbi. Gao gives Mang an album which has a photo of Mang's mom and another girl. And Mang meets the owner of Phoenix who confirms Lingbi was adopted. Chen meets Lingbi and points out your plans and victim mindset. Lingbi says, next time bring evidence. Wang Xing is now under attack by goons and tells his secret to a bodyguard. Jin and Mang go to meet Mr. Shu in the hotel, but Lingbi's goons chase them. On the 16th floor, Jin and Mang get separated. Jin fights with a goon. Mang takes the pen drive from the locker and leaves, and Jin leaves another pen drive which the bodyguard picks up. Mang is waiting for Jin at home and both play the pen drive on the laptop, but the files are empty. At night, Mang plays the pen drive from the phone and hears a voice recording in it in which Lingbi is telling Wang Xing, trap Mang's mom in fraud. Mang breaks down emotionally but does not talk to Jin because Lingbi is his mom. Jin is with Grandma, who says Jin will have to face every difficulty and stay strong. Mang is in her tension and frustration, but Jin handles her and says, nothing will happen to you. On the terrace, Mang asks Jin, whose side will you take if proof is found? Jin says, the wrong should get punished, and it won't affect their relationship, which makes Mang emotional. The next day, Mang goes to Lingbi's office and plays the recording, but Lingbi, showing no interest in the past, refuses. Just then, Mang gets a call. Police took her dad in a fraud case. Mang understands this is Lingbi's work. Jin comes there and reassures Mang and goes to meet Grandpa, who supports Jin. 2 days later, Mang is feeding Ping, and John disappears from school. Mang and Ran find him together. There is an injury on John's hand and he cries. Ran explains to him, and Fang scolds him in anger and realizes her mistake. Mang's dad returns and is happily free. Mang calls Jin and gives the good news, and Jin gives a surprise and hugs her. Grandpa's surgery is successful. Mr. Dong of the board of directors asks Mang, resign because Jin and Grandpa bought all the shares. Lingbi gets shocked. Mang leaves the hospital but gets kidnapped. Jin gets a message and reaches to rescue her. Lingbi demands, transfer all shares to my name. Jin agrees helplessly. The bodyguard puts petrol in the car and Mang is unconscious. Lingbi picks up the lighter but remembering her mom's words drops the lighter down. Suddenly, Wang Xing comes and throws the lighter near Mang's car. The car catches fire. Jin saves Mang, risking his life. Mang stays safe, but the blame comes on Lingbi. Jin meets Lingbi in jail and Lingbi tells my past story. Childhood adoption, a stranger's assault, and Jin's birth. Jin says, I have to take a stand on his feelings and truth. In the hospital scene, Mang is with Fang and Ran. Fang talks to Ran, my new commitment in time. Ran is upset but decides to give space to Fang. On the other side, Mang comes home but Jin is not there. There is a letter lying there in which it is written, because of Lingbi, Mang and her family suffered a lot. He cannot pretend that nothing happened. The truth is that Lingbi is his mom. That is why Jin will not come in front of Mang now. Reading this, Mang becomes sad. She sees the fallen flowers on the floor which are given on a grave. That is why Mang goes to the graveyard. Over there, Jin puts flowers on his dad's grave and speaks, you are my dad, and I will start anew now. Mang also comes there, but Jin has left from there. When she asks security, he tells, Jin has gone to the mountains. Mang starts climbing the mountains quickly and finally finds Jin there. Mang starts hitting him. Jin says sorry. Mang says, you always run away. Jin says, I remembered Grandma's words that he has to face everything, that is why he didn't go. But he didn't know how to tell Mang that is why he wrote the letter. Mang hugs him. Then Jin goes to the board meeting of Hanai Group and says, sorry everyone. He takes responsibility for the negative PR. He says, I will compensate from his shares only and the redevelopment of Fish Village will not happen. Jin will lead a new project himself. Everyone agrees and makes him the next chairman. Then comes the scene of Ran's restaurant opening, where he is waiting for Fing and Jian. Ping says, Fing and Jian have gone to an event. Fing has sent flowers for him. Ran's mood turns off. The party is going on just then. Guai comes. Jin holds Mang's hand. Guai asks, Ran, how much money did Jin give you? I will give double. Ran says, still stuck there? Timing now tells the truth. Ran is not Mang's husband, but Jin is. Guai does not believe so. Jin shows him the marriage certificate. Timing says, this is the truth. Guai gets hurt and says to Mang, This time you broke my heart. Guai goes to the beach alone. Ran says, this time I am truly hurt. Jin goes to him and says, I made a mistake, I shouldn't have hidden it. Guai says, you removed your name from the competition that was important for me. You left without saying anything. Were we not best friends? Jin says, my dad had died and he couldn't understand how to handle it. He made a mistake, Guai can give any punishment. Guai says, you snatched my love too. I have known Mang since college. Jin says, I am here only because of Mang. Please give our friendship a chance. Guai gives no answer. Then, Jin brings Fang to the hometown. Fang doesn't like it. Grandma brings chicken and says, I will make this for Fang. Fang says, this is dirty. I won't stay here, won't eat chicken. Grandma gets angry and says, he should go back, he won't get food. Fang starts crying. Jin explains to him, Grandma just gets angry but loves a lot. Fang says, I am missing Mom. It is her fault, but she is my mom. Jin says, your mom misses you too, but you have to stay here. After coming from the hospital, Grandma learned to make Fang's favorite dishes. Jin says, very bad things happened to me, I was beaten too. Fang starts understanding. Grandma calls for food and Jin takes Fang inside. Mong asks Jin, how is Fang? Jin says, he is trying to adjust. Mong shows photos of cats to Jin and says, I want to adopt. Jin says, we have Ping. Mang says, Ping lives outside the house, the cat will live inside. Jin refuses but Mang forces, and Jin agrees. Then, Jian and Ran are practicing boxing. Fang comes to pick up Jian. Ran gets nervous and says, I would have dropped him. Fang says she was free so she came. How is his new business running? Ran says, good. Then a lady comes who is the hometown's matchmaker. She says, I have fixed a blind date for Ran. Ran and Fang get shocked. Ran says, I don't want to go. The lady says, your mom fixed it. Fang says, Ran should go. Fang takes Jian away. Jian comes back to take gloves and hears the restaurant's name. He messages his mom, I don't want to go to the date, but on mom's insistence, he has to go. Ran comes to the restaurant. Fang and Jian are also there. Ran starts looking at Fang. Fang says, did you bring me intentionally? Jian says, I like Ran. He is good. That day I fought because boys were speaking bad about you and Ran. Fang gets emotional. Ran tells his blind date, I like someone else, that is why I came here. The blind date smiles. Fang gets jealous and takes photos of that girl. Mang tells Fang, you ignore him. You didn't even go to his opening. You should give a chance. He has changed a lot. Jian also likes him. Fang keeps thinking. Mang comes home. Jin also comes. Mang says, let's talk about the cat. Jin refuses. Mang's mood is bad. Jin starts kissing her, but Mang vomits. Jin gets scared. In the next scene, Jin brings a lot of pregnancy test kits. Mang says, why so many? Jin says, so that there remains no doubt. Mang tests. Coming out, she says, Jin, you are going to become a dad. Jin gets very happy and spins Mang around. Then everyone is partying at Ran's restaurant. Mang tells, bypass the Jingbei music school test. Everyone is happy. Tai Ming and Guai also come. Guai talks about starting friendship with Jin again. The three drink together. Ran talks about my restaurant. Guai says, it is not attractive. Ran says, I will keep live music and Bai will be the superstar. Guai says, I will invest, but you have to sing. Ran says, I am the owner. Jin says, you got a chance, use it. Everyone insists. Ran sings and says, my heartbeat was not because of music, but because of the girl who was with him. Everyone looks at Fang. Fang blushes. Ran sings out of tune. Everyone covers their ears, but Fang looks only at him. Jin turns off the music. Fang and Ran blush. Both go for coffee and their love story begins. Then everyone is at Mang's house. The family is planning for the baby. Mang's dad is teaching Jin to make dumplings. Mang is losing the game repeatedly. Jin helps. Fang and Ran's chemistry is also shown. In the last, Mang and Jin are on the road where they met for the first time. Mang asks, who were you talking to on the call that day? Jin says, I don't remember. Mang says, your memory is strong. Jin says, I heard Mang looking for the crab rice shop. I wanted to approach but acted like I was busy on a call. Mang says, this was our destiny. Now we are together and the baby is also coming. Both plan the future and there is a happy ending.